One of my favorite books is a book by Michael Crichton, the late Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton wrote Jurassic Park, and he also wrote the sequel to Jurassic Park, The Lost World. In the book, The Lost World, there's a line that really resonated with me, um, and it really had a tremendous impact on my life, and helped me hone my perspective on the world and the way I saw the world. Okay, so what happened is in the book, Ian Malcolm, in the movies, Ian Malcolm was played by Jeff Goldblum. But in the book, he's giving a speech and he's giving a lecture, and somebody says, "Oh yes, well, it's it's fortunate that the dinosaurs went extinct because that allowed our own sentient awareness to arise on the planet." And this is Ian Malcolm's reply. What makes you think human beings are sentient and aware? There's no evidence for it. Human beings never think for themselves. They find it too uncomfortable. For the most part, members of our species simply repeat what they are told and become upset if they are exposed to any different view. The characteristic human trait is not awareness, but conformity. And the characteristic result is religious warfare. Other animals fight for territory or food, but uniquely in the animal kingdom, human beings fight for their beliefs. The reason is that beliefs guide behavior, which has evolutionary importance among human beings. But at a time when our behavior may well lead us to extinction, I see no reason to assume we have any awareness at all. We are stubborn, self destructive conformists. Any other view of our species is just a self congratulatory delusion. Next question. Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. That quote, like I said, that quote has remained uh just so firmly. The principle behind that quote has remained in my mind, and it's interesting because I named my channel Escaping the Echo Chamber for a reason, because I see this evident. So, and I think it's easier for me to see it, not because I'm better than anybody, but because I am a loner by nature. And maybe not even by nature. Maybe I am a loner by practice. But being in a position where I can step away from people and observe, because for a long time, not actively participating in social situations allowed me the opportunity to observe people's interactions, and it was very educational. It continues to be educational. And from a political standpoint, not being tied down to, for instance, the major political groups right now, especially in this country, are Democratic and Republican. Me not being either a Democrat or Republican gives me an opportunity to stand back and see some really bad behavior on both sides. Whereas if I was either a Democrat or a Republican, it would be much harder for me to see it, because I would be, well, number one, I wouldn't, as much as I was calling, if I'm a Democrat and I see the Republicans, January 6th, let's take January 6th, they're storming the Capitol and they're breaking windows, and there's some people beating up law enforcement, and they're some people are chanting um, about doing things to legislators and congressmen and senators, congresspeople and senators. And I'm like, these people are evil. These people are really twisted and sick. And then let's say somebody comes up to me and says, "Oh, well, how's that different from the riots how's this riot different from the riots over the summer? And I'll go off on that person. Do you know why I go off on that person? I'll go off because I'm looking at the people who were participated in the January 6th event, not just as misguided. I'm looking at them as bad people. And so to if you now come to me and tell me to equate the what I feel are righteous protests against actual injustice, like I'm like, no, like there's no comparison. We're good, they're evil. We're righteous, they're bad. Like this is why I would not be able to, and I wouldn't want to. It's not that I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't want to stop and look at the other side as as having valid points or as having similar gripes because I'm already looking at them from a lens of they're just they're just bad people. They're bad people being led by a bad guy, and like that's all there is to it. Anything else, there's no reason for me to look to provide any nuance, to look any deeper, and I will automatically be able to. It won't take anything for me to believe the worst about these people. So if you say they're racist, you don't even have to give me an actual example that they're racist. I already look at these people as being bad people. So you say they're racist? Okay, yeah, they're racist. Why wouldn't they be? They're bad people. It's just so easy for me to do this. And, because my tribe is against their tribe, my tribe isn't racist. So, like, I know they're racist people. Racist people got to be on that tribe, you know? And when you have somebody from that tribe who says something that's genuinely racist, then I'm going to be like, see, that's my proof that that side is racist. Now, here's what will happen on that side. Not everybody on that side will agree with that. However, because we're doing this, as he's talking about these, we're just conforming and we're just sticking up for our beliefs. They don't want to. They look at their side as being good, and us, the other side, as being evil, and so they won't condemn the person on their side because that's their teammate. So they're going to be like, they'll make excuses. That's not what the person meant. You're taking the words out of context. They will make all kinds of excuses, but their failure to be responsible and call out their teammate is what will make the other team say, hey, see, that entire side is racist. And these echo chambers that we're in, I mean, because we refuse to see any good in the other side or acknowledge evil or badness on our side. In fact, the fact that we have sides is the first problem. The first thing should be start being individuals. If we start acting as individuals, it doesn't mean we can't have community. It doesn't mean we can't connect with others, but it means we can look at nuance and realize that there it's not so simple as having two camps, that there are so many variations. Like it's not just team red and team blue. No, that's ridiculous. But that's overly simplistic, and that's a simplistic world view of the world that makes things easy. It means we don't actually have to do any research. It means we don't actually have to um, do any due diligence. We can just say, okay, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy? Okay, boom, my job's done. Now I can go ahead and watch Netflix. I don't have to actually investigate in, like, when it comes to voting for somebody. I don't have to investigate what their policies are, what their history is, what they've done in the past. Wait, is he a Democrat or Republican? That's all I need to know. And like, that's how the vast majority of us are operating. But if you look at something like social media isn't actually helping that, because social media will, and with these algorithms, I get why they're doing it. They want us to stay on social media, but it reinforces these tribalistic urges, these conformist, behaviors, and we just get further divided into these basic camps, and we refuse to acknowledge that there's other perspectives, or that any other perspective can be valid. And like I said, it's because I'm neither Democrat or Republican, it makes it easier. But now I had to take a step back at my own team and say, hey, how rational am I being when faced with critiques of my team? How honest am I being? Because I'm human too. I can't sit here and say, oh, everybody else is stuck in the echo chamber, but I'm smarter than everybody. No, that's absurd. I am human just like everybody else, and I am susceptible to the same bad behaviors that everybody else is, the same flaws, the same motivations. Yeah, it can happen to me too. But it takes me having to step back, and when I see behavior, and in fact, let me tell you how I do it. I see behavior from people that I don't like, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. This makes no sense. How can people do this? Like, let's do, if somebody's throwing garbage in the street, they just drop litter on the street. I'm like, there's a garbage right down the halfway up the block. What's wrong with these people? This is crazy. And it's something that I can look at somebody else and see they're doing something that makes no sense. Like, what's wrong with these people? However, let's say I get a stick of gum. I pop the stick of gum in my mouth, and then I toss that little wrapper. I just let it fall out of my hand. See, it's easy to see it when somebody else does it. But what I have to actually do, and what I do is stop and say, okay, wait a minute. Is there any time in my life that I do that? And you may not always see it, and you may not see it right away. But if you keep looking for it, okay, wait a minute, I really think this behavior is negative, it's destructive, it's unproductive. Do I do it? Do I engage in that same behavior? And start looking for it. Because you'll find oftentimes that there is some way, some aspect of your behavior that you're doing that. And once you realize that, you can begin being the change in the world that you want to see. You can begin by saying, okay, I'm part of the problem. I'm part of what I view as a problem in the world. So let me stop being part of the problem. Let me be part of the solution. Let me adapt my behavior so that I'm no longer doing this thing that I criticize other people for doing. It has helped me become a better person, a more mindful person, and a more empathetic person. Because once I see myself doing something that I'm criticizing somebody else for, even if I'm not out loud criticizing them, it helps me be more respectful and tolerant of other people's flaws, because they're my flaws too. I have flaws just like everybody else. We all have flaws, and it does nobody any good to pretend that everybody else is flawed and we're perfect. It does nobody any good. So I just wanted to, share a little bit about why I have this channel. Um, because it gives me an opportunity to, it's kind of like a diary. So I can give my thoughts through a lens of what's going on in the world, in my world, in the world, in my world, and gives me insight into the way others are seeing the world, the way I'm seeing the world, and then any critiques I may have of others. It allows me to stop, listen to a video, and say, wait a minute, didn't I just do the same thing? Like, if I'm saying that people are jumping to conclusions, didn't I just, in this video, didn't I do the same thing? And then I can correct it and begin correcting it. Because that's what we have to realize. It's a constant process. Self-correction isn't something we just do once and everything's great after that. Self-correction is a constant process. And this past week has really impressed the need upon me for all of us to do it, because I'm seeing people just reflexively just retreat to corners, regardless of how much sense it makes or how much. I mean, it's like people are engaging in mental gymnastics to defend certain positions because the other team, and I'm doing the air quotes, the other team is taking the opposite position. So they reflexively, just reactionarily go to one corner, the other team goes to the other corner, and it starts. And then we have another situation, and the same thing happens, and nothing's getting solved because nobody's actually trying to solve problems. Everybody's just trying to dunk on the other team. Everybody's just trying to show up the other team for being horrible, bad people, unrighteous, wicked people, heartless people. That's the point. The point isn't actually solving problems. The point is owning the libs, owning the right. That's the point. Destroying the opposition. That's and it's not helping anybody. It's not solving anything. So thank you for checking out this episode. As always, give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Tell me in the comment what you think. If there's things that you've noticed that you've seen in others, that bad things or negative traits you've seen in others that you were able to find in yourself and either start working or actually complete work on, or make significant improvements upon in your own life. And if you disagree with me and you think, well, I'm not in an echo chamber, those other people are in an echo chamber, but I'm cool, I'm fine, I'm not in an echo chamber, I'm just right, I'm just always right. If that's what you feel, go ahead and give me a thumbs down. But like I say, if you give me a thumbs down, write why in the comments below, and so I can address it either in the comment section or in a future video. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.